Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on and we're going to take a peek at the today's tarot topic. Sorry, I have Fluffy floating in the air from my little warm blanket wrap. But we're going to take a look at the energy for the first and the second. And I know the first is pretty much over, but I still wanted to say what was the big takeaway message from March the 1st. We have Temperance and we have the Eight of Coins sideways. To remember that to find peace does require effort. It requires compromise. It requires the desire to find peace. And particularly if there has been a love story, or it's something between, we have this masculine who's obviously, spying on this divine feminine as she's busy working. And I shouldn't say spying, he's observing. If he's realizing that she brings me peace, then that is something so precious. When we meet people in this world that are calming influences for us, that's huge. When we encounter individuals that, warm our heart or make us feel more hopeful or make us feel a sense of balance, I think that's something to really hold on to. And so that could be the message for March 1st is note who those people are. Nine of Swords. And also note that sometimes they need a little support as well. Sometimes they don't just give us peace, but sometimes it's nice to reciprocate that. Nine of Wands. Okay, so we may have a divine masculine who really on March 1st either noticed something, learned something, or was struck by something about possibly a divine feminine. And if he had been walking around feeling like he has scars and wounds, he may have recognized that a feminine that he admires or cares about in some way, she too has her story. And it might have just struck that, you know what? We need each other for support. We need to give each other, a shoulder to lean on. It feels beautiful, honestly. It feels like he's realizing he has something he can offer her, something he wants to offer her. He cares about her. What's the Eight of Cups? Eight of Cups is normally about walking away. Seven of Wands. Hang on. He may be rethinking. I don't know if at one point in time he walked away from her thinking he had nothing to offer her, and he's realizing now that that isn't true. She perhaps, struggles and carries on, but she has her own problems and her own, struggles that she also faces, and he has a lot to offer her. This could have been a scenario where a divine masculine really didn't see her and see her as a person because they were too busy feeling like they were flawed or they were imperfect. And that could be a big turnaround to realize like, no, she might need me. She might need some of my support. Wheel of Fortune sideways. He's definitely starting to, I'm going to say like, get some, he's shifting energy. So on March 1st, I would say that we have a divine masculine that is shifting his energy to something much more, like he's able to think outside of himself. Yeah, he's tapping into her energy. And especially, come on, we are going right into this blood moon on the 2nd. In fact, let's jump into the message for the 2nd here in just a split second. Second. Sorry about the little wordplay going on right now. This feels like this is a storyline that is bringing us right into that blood moon eclipse. It feels like his energy, he's finally shifted away from focusing on himself and recognizing, instead of me wandering around in this world feeling like I don't have that much to offer, or I'm not that great, what could I possibly bring into her world? He's starting to realize I have maybe exactly something that she would need and want from me. I would like to give her something. She might need me. And the more I tap into that, the more I recognize maybe she didn't ask me for help and support, but how could I have been so blind as to not see? God, he is so in love with her. He is having this huge awakening. And for a long time, he only looked in the mirror and saw his own failings. And so he couldn't quite believe that he had much to offer her, even though she's obviously a wonderful support system to him, even from a distance. She is somebody that I think he always thought was so much more balanced than him. And he's just now realizing she's a person just like me. And she might need my energy, and I could offer her that. So I have a place, I have something to give. And I think he's waking up to that, which is fantastic. This is a wonderful energy for around this eclipse season. That could really compel him to either gravitate toward her. I mean, that Wheel of Fortune says the time is almost just right. I'm thinking not till around the 2nd or the 3rd. Just because then we saw a timeline with that blood moon, which is so wild. I totally forgot that this deck has the blood moon hovering above the high priestess's head like that. So that was a wonderful surprise. Okay, can we move to the 2nd then? And so the blood moon eclipse for our full moon is, right there between the 2nd and the 3rd of March. So the message for the 2nd, we have a feminine who is actually in possibly a feeling of missed opportunity. We have the 4 of Cups and we have the 9 of Wands. She may feel like she's retreating on herself. She may feel like she's missed out on opportunity. She may be having a tough day. She may be feeling wounded and withdrawn. She could have marvelous hair, by the way. And there's the high priestess here as well. Okay, so the message for the 1st and for the 2nd, those two are connected, okay? Because we have a double dose of the high priestess. Because she's standing here, she's reaching out. I'm going to say this. We may have a divine feminine who is like subconsciously yearning and calling out for someone. And I'm guessing this could be connected to the 1st, so it could be him. Let me just ask, feminine, who are you calling out for? 10 of Pentacles. She could use a little support. She could use someone beside her. She could use her divine counterpart right now more than ever on March the 2nd. She needs her divine counterpart to show up in her world, to reach out, to be there with her. 7 of Pentacles upright. This is a really deep, notice how all these little gnomes are like, underground, and they're mining, in this case, mining for emeralds. That just says to me that it's a really deeply held, if we're talking about mining, we're talking about going, in the caves, deep into the earth, or like into ourselves. So it's a very deep, long held wish for her, but she actually is in a place where it's like, we all get to that point sometimes where it's like, look, I'm good alone. I can handle it. I can handle it. I can handle it. And then one day we go, oh man, deep down, I would really love partnership. I'd really love someone to stand beside me. Yeah, I know I'm good alone. I'm good alone. But oh my God, I would love it if I had someone standing beside me. That's the moment that she's at on the 2nd. And it feels like she's sending out that vibration, sending out that very like real and subconscious wish. We have the World, we have the Magician. It's not just a wish. It is the thing that changes her universe because she means it. Sometimes when we've had it up to here, when we've had enough of something and we want change, that's when change happens. And it seems like it happens like magic, but I always think that's maybe when we manifest the best, is when our inner voice, or maybe we could say our soul, says, honestly, loudly enough that our big brain can hear it. And we go, this is what I need right now. This is what I mean. This is what's true about me right now. When our soul speaks loudly enough and our brain hears it, and we're acknowledging like, that's the truth. I want something right now. I need a change. That seems to be when change really occurs. That's when we jump timelines. And it's so crazy because it feels like our feminine has reached that point where I want things to be different. I want a masculine who chooses to approach me, and it doesn't have to be masculine, but it's counterpart, and this is just masculine energy. And we have a masculine and a feminine here. So that's why I said it that way. But on the second, she is literally hitting that point where she just, like, her soul said it to the universe heard it and responded with, okay, well, then everything changes now. You told us unequivocally what you wanted at the core of your soul. You want things to be different. Things are going to be different. There's something amazing coming at you. You just manifested it. Hang on. Who's coming at her? If she wants a 10 of Pentacles, she wants partnership. Page of Pentacles, I feel like she's going to be getting a message on the second. Why? Because she said with all of her soul, I want something sure. I want something that is going to be in it to win it with me long term. The person that is reaching out to her is a person who has really missed the heck out of her. Somebody who is wanting so much to have her in their life. Is that you? Is that the masculine that we saw on the first, for the message on the first? I'm trying to figure this out. 9 of Swords and the Devil sideways. I'm going to say most likely it is, because we saw them before saying that there was, he realized, I've stressed her out. I didn't pay any attention to, like, the grief and the upset and the things she's gone through. I didn't pay any attention. Why didn't I pay any attention to what her needs may have been? And now we have that 9 of Swords, and it's like, how selfish could I have been? I was so wrapped up in my own stuff. I didn't think about her maybe needing somebody. I didn't put my own, flaws aside and say, what if she needed me? And I could have given her calm and support. So I'm going to say it is definitely him reaching out with, I think, a sincere, regret. Like, I should have been there for you. I just realized I should have been there for you. I should have offered you something. I was so focused on what I think I didn't have, where I didn't think I was good enough, that I forgot maybe I could have offered you something. 4 of Pentacles. This is definitely somebody who, they held back the best of themselves and didn't share it with her, thinking that the best of themselves wasn't much of anything. Queen of Cups. I'm going to say, if this is them reaching out to her, this is them also saying, you gave me a ton of love. You offered me so much, and I didn't offer you the same because I didn't think I had enough to give. That's changed now. 10 of Wands. They're not scared anymore to try offering something to her. This was never because they were stingy and didn't want to offer her anything. They were just stuck in their own head. Ace of Cups in the reverse. You know what? I think this is coming in the nick of time. Just when she, like I said, she's had it. She's at that point where she could use a little support. She's at that point where she needs some love. She needs somebody to come in and give her support and give her love. And that is the moment that they seem to be coming in. Now, in this story, it happens to be somebody that she already dealt with. And this transformation, this energy shift began on the first and follows through on the second. We saw his side on the first. We see her side of it on the second. So it was a very connected story. But what I would say is this: even if it hadn't been so interwoven, I would have still said, again, when a character gets to the point where they really truly want something to change, that's when change happens. When we're kind of wanting it, but not really, if we're not truly fed up yet, and we don't really mean it yet, then I don't think things change that much. But when we really get to the point where it's like, well, this can't work like this anymore. I'm not getting any of my needs met. I have to have some needs met. That is when life changes. So I kind of think it's because that's when our mentality shifts and we say, universe, I need it to be different. And the universe says, okay, here we go. That we were waiting for you to tell us unequivocally that you were ready for a change. Her life is going to change beginning on the 2nd. There is a fed up feminine is starting to get what she actually needs, what she actually wants. She's been depleted and is finally starting to come back to her on the 2nd. All right, let me now go ahead and turn my attention to a little message for someone whose birthday is on March 1st. And then we'll also do one for the 2nd. But let's see, what do we have for the 1st? High Priestess again, Knight of Pentacles, and the Strength card. This could be a year of powerful intuition, and she is opening up the door, changing the feng shui, welcoming in things like prosperity, growth, health, wellness. You see that there's plants all around and an open door. This is her saying, something about this year, I can feel things are coming in slow, but the things that are coming toward me are the things that I really want. And they're the things that I will wait until the right thing shows up, whether that's a lover, whether that's a job opportunity, whether that is, the finding the right, whatever high quality pair of shoes, but at the right price. I'm not going to invest. I'm not going to paint my house a color until I find the color I really want. It's about being patient and knowing that I will know the right thing when I see it. This is a year of making excellent decisions that are 100% like, yes, this clicks. The only reason that it'll work, though, is because our character is patient enough to say, I will know what I'm looking for when I see it, and I will not say yes until my soul says yes. So I feel like we have a character who could have a lot of success this year. They're going to get everything they want, but it's because they are waiting until they see the thing that they want. All right, and how about a birthday for the 2nd of March? We have got a 4 of Wands, a King of Cups, a 10 of Cups. How beautiful is that? This could be the year that somebody falls head over heels in love, happily ever aftering in this next year. We have a love story here. We have a marriage, but more than just a marriage. And it could be a small ceremony. It could be something very simple for two people, but it's more like I can see forever with you. I can see into the future. I can see a 10 of Cups, and I can picture what that will look like. And then we actually start living it. This is a year where choosing happiness seems easy. Life got simpler all of a sudden. All the other noise went away, and simplifying, like, all I'm looking for is somebody I trust, somebody I feel connected to, somebody I can love, somebody I can see a happy future with. That's it. That's what I want. That's what I'll have. And it just seems very direct and very, again, it's just very simplified. That's amazing. All right, I'm going to leave that there. By the way, of course, we could have, for the 2nd, that we did have a King of Cups there. So it could be a water sign that is that partnership, that happily ever after. All right, you guys, thanks so much for being here. Lots of love. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye, guys.